people started there already to build bunkers underneath, because I guess this was truly the end. And the deportations continued. And when we were on Bonifateska, this was the first time that we heard about Treblinka. Because, you know, people like to fool themselves. None of us, this goes for my parents and everybody, we just couldn't believe that indeed that were herding us, transporting us to, as they call Vernichtungslagen, you know, the places where they are going to gas us, you know, kill us off.
By January, when the first resistance was to happen, ghetto, nobody could walk anywhere freely anymore. Ghetto was a series of islands, and you couldn't even go from one to another, except with the risk of life because of the German patrols. Most of the ghetto was empty because by that time, only a tenth of the population remained. The rest of it was like a ghost town, and you couldn't. Actually, with other kids, we have learned ways of going from house to house in those ghostly parts without going out in the street, but simply going from one apartment house to another through various secret passages that we...
Was it to play? Did you play with other children in this?
It was not so much play, but in looking for things.
The only chance to survive is to dig bunkers, and camouflage in a way that no one can yet 1, 2, 3 opening. And that was a mass action to start building bunkers. People out of a block of apartments, people of same kind, you know each other, families. Who they started all digging and preparing, some hiding part of a floor, something, some rooms so no one could see, and of course underground.
When the organization of the uprising started, my function was to go after curfew and paste the posters calling the Jews to armed rebellion on the walls of the buildings. My father, of course, was, he didn't know what I was doing, but when I was coming home after the curfew, it was a terrible thing. They were terribly, terribly worried.
Whoever had the possibility, the means, financial or otherwise, had friends, was trying to get to the Aryan side. I didn't have that possibility. I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any friends on the Aryan side. And I was trying to get into the Jewish fighting organization where my friends that were working with me.
We anticipate to stock the bunkers at least for a half a year or more, as much as we could with food. We connected fresh water, and we connected some toilets. And the bunkers actually were cellars. And when I say we made a blank wall there, so this divided the cellar. Usually the cellar used to go around the whole house. So we took the end. So one was a blank wall, and the other end we built a blank wall, and we built a hole in the wall, and inside we had a little rails with bricks to fit into the hole. So you closed it up, and you couldn't see from the outside that there is the entrance to the bunker, and you had to crawl in.